So far, everything seems to have gone well. The only minor things I found is that these brackets, they're painted black on one side, but it's not the side that you see from the front. It would be nice if they were all painted black or something. Jury's out as far as how well these metal scrapers are going to work for the head. The sharpness of the edge of the print bed would have held the glass off of the bed slightly. Now that I've trimmed that, that's an easy thing to fix, but shouldn't have to do that. Minor thing though, so sure Tronxy can fix that. Now I guess we're left to power this up for the first time. So we'll actually look at the manual and see what that says about leveling, but the first thing I want to do is power it up. So I've already verified it's set to the correct voltage, to 110 in my region. It may say 115 depending on the power supply they're using, but as long as it's about the same as what your region is. If you're in Europe or in UK, then, because UK is not part of Europe anymore, it's not part of the EU. Anyway, over there they're all around 240 volts. So let me just get this cable plugged in, and I guess the switch was already on. Making fancy tunes. No smoke. Doesn't lock the bed right off the bat, which is good. Let me turn this around and we can look at the menus on the screen. Okay, that's a reasonable view for the moment. See the screen okay? Yep. I guess so. So we've got a touch screen here. We've got system, tool, and print. It's all detailed in the manual. So this is, I guess, first power up. Yeah, this is saying 220 volts, but on the side of mine, as we saw, it only says 20. We lost a 2 somewhere. So that was powering it on and setting the voltage correctly. The next part of the manual talks about use the E1 print head to level the hotbed platform. So it says step 1, change the printer's printing mode to duplicate or mirror mode. So that's here, mode. And we want, let's just say duplicate. Step 2, start manual leveling. So, where's manual leveling? I guess we go back, tools, manual. So select tool, manual, according to the sequence given in the figure. Level the 5 position points 1 by 1. So it's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so let's give this a go, shall we? I'll need a piece of paper. Let me just grab one. So this did not ask me to... okay. So, go back to the menu. We've got tool, and then I picked manual, which is just manual control. What we want is level. On here. And then we pick which mode, cancel or manual. So you only got one choice really. So it's going to be manual. And it's going up and zeroing the heads. So that's the X and Y. That missed my screen by like a millimeter. Now it's bringing down the heads. So I'm going to keep an eye on this in case I need to kill the power. Obviously I've got the end stop, I'm thinking, a little high. Get my finger on the power button. Alright, so that's hit the 0. And we're a long way from the bed at the moment. So I'm a good inch or so away from the bed there. So let me just adjust the left-hand stop, and I'm going to drop it down and manually tweak it so that it's at the right place, and then we'll be right back to you. Okay, what I did was I dropped the end stop that we screwed on a few minutes ago right down as low as it would go, and it actually brings it very, very close. It's just redone the homing. So now we'll continue. The display is exactly where we were. You can just touch the points that you need to level. So we'll start off with this front left one. You just touch that, the head's going to go to where it needs. And what you got to do is put a piece of paper in here and adjust it so that the head is just gripping the paper. So if you turn right clockwise, that's going to bring the bed down because you're tightening the screw from underneath, so you need to go anti-clockwise. Going to make the paper a little thinner because I've got to get by a whole bunch of things in here, and there's quite a bit of adjustment to do by the look of this. So what you want to do is adjust it till the paper is just starting to drag from the nozzle. Right there, it's, see it pushing, it won't go. So I'm going to back it up until it will just start sliding. Now this is a 4.0ing, so what you need to be aware of is that if you raise this end, these 2 points here are going to pivot and it's going to push that end down. So you may have to go through this a couple of times. Anyway, so we'll go to number 2. Yeah, we already didn't want mirror mode to do this. Anyway. So number 2 needs to come up quite a way as well. You have to watch out for the clamps for the glass. Do the same thing, adjust it so that the paper is just gripping, which it is now. Now we'll do 3, which according to the manual would be the rear right. Again, should have done that in not mirror mode. Should have just left that one parked. Okay, so that's now its adjustment point. So this is still loose, so we need to adjust this one so it starts to grip. So that's right there. Now we'll go to 4. That's good. I'm going to go back to 1 and recheck it. See, that's a little tight now. Just a tiny bit tight. That's good. Now we'll go back to number 2. As I said, the first time you do this, it's worth going round, 2 or 3 times just to verify everything is correct. On the other side of this, that still feels good. By the way, don't have your hand on here when you're doing it, or any weight, because that's really loose there. I let go. And now I can feel it just gripping a little bit. Okay, we'll go to 4. Yeah, it's gotten a little tight, so we'll screw it back in. That's good. Go to 5. Oh, 4, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we'll try number 5, which is in the middle. Okay, so that's good. I'll go back to 1 again. There's very little in it. As I said, it's the... This is just head 1 we're doing. You still feel that just gripping. Number 4. Okay, now number 5 again. Hopefully now it's all balanced out and good. So that's a little bit tight, but probably okay. So that's done that one. That's E0 that we've done. That's only E0. It's already pretty tight on the bed, so this adjustment is already good. Now we need to do E1. So go into System Mode, and we want Auto Park, so the heads will get out of each other's way. So then we go back. Now, if I go into Tool, I can go to Manual, Home, and it'll do its home. Which is good. Now we can change this to E2. So when it's in duplicate, one of the ones that uses both heads, it won't do the same thing. So now that that's got E2 in the middle at the 0 position, we can adjust it. Now right now, I can't get the head under there. Now we're doing this cold right now too. Normally you would do this with a bed and a nozzle warm. So this nozzle, as far as we're concerned, because if they're both the same temperature, needs to come up, because this was all adjusted so that this nozzle fits nicely. So if I bring E1 back, all right, I can get this in here and slide. So if I go to E2, it's about the same, but I think it needs to come up just a tad because it seems to be a little bit tighter. So what I need to do to make that happen is to find the adjuster. You just need to loosen these, you don't take them right out. There we go, that's that one loosened. Tad tight. Alright, so now we should be able to adjust there. It's now loose, so it doesn't take much. Alright, just a very little actually, so there we go. And then we want to tighten these up again so they don't move. So the head doesn't move. Okay, now we have nozzle 1 and nozzle 2, E1 and E2, now adjusted to 0. So that's done, which is good. We will have to probably adjust this once we've set the slightly when we increase the temperature. So E offset function introduction. So E offset is when you're doing two-headed mode and you print something with this one and then you want to have this one print something over it. You need to adjust it so that it's going to print right on top. Any X offset and Y offset will skew that, so it needs to be done correctly. Okay, so the process for doing the E offset is we go into System, Mode, and then we click the E offset button. Then we hit Test to start the test to get it start warming up. Both heads are now warming up to 200 degrees centigrade, and we need to put some filament in because we're going to be printing on the bed now to do this E offset. So I'm going to load up the blue and the black filament that came with the printer. I'm just manually pushing this through. I'm sure there's an automatic load unload. So that's in nozzle 1. And the blue we'll put in nozzle 2. Okay, so the filament was loaded, and when it got up to temperature, it automatically, as you can see, printed two squares. One is with the black filament, which is, I guess there was some clear loaded before. That's certainly stuck to the bed okay, so height's good. Now this is doing left to right adjustment. So looking at this, they look like they're perfectly aligned in this direction. So that actually looks good. So now if what does it say? Let's have a look. The machine will print two squares. Observe whether the squares are aligned horizontally and in the center, which they are. Adjust E2 in accordance. Adjust the two boxes are horizontally centered. Click Save Settings. I'm assuming I'm going to need to clean these off the bed so that the next one can print. So let's just do that. Now we'll hit Test again. This is going to do the Y. Okay, and looking at the alignment again, but this time in this direction. It's in the center. They're not touching each other, which I don't think they're supposed to be, but they are looking like they're perfectly aligned already as well. So I don't think there's anything to adjust. If you did need to adjust something, you would use the left and right arrows to adjust the settings. I can't move the bed because it's locked at the moment, but on the display, and it shows you in the book quite clearly, you adjust this till you're all done, and when you're done, test to pick your adjustments, so you can switch between 0.01, 0.1 and 1 millimeter for tweaking the left and right and front to back adjustments. Adjust the two squares vertically aligned in the center, which we got. Then we click back. Looks like the X had a slight adjustment of -3.8, which it has to have something, of course. So, when you're removing the prints, keep it low on the bed, and they'll just come off. So I guess